Good evening. This is Arlo Johnson from Vernon, British Columbia. May the 27th, I believe, and it's around 9 p.m. in the evening. It's just about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. In fact, I'll tell you exactly what it is. Pardon me, 76. It's cooling off. Well, that's good. So I hope everything is fine with you. And the world keeps turning along, doesn't it? See, they're going to have an election in Alberta, Canada, on Monday. That'll be kind of an important one. And I don't know, there'll be another one, national election, fairly soon, I think. I don't know when. I was going to have a little chat about predestination. What do you think about predestination? It says that God predestinates certain people. I don't know if you're one or if I'm one. Some people believe that. It's in the Bible, so I gotta believe that it is. I mean, it wouldn't be, otherwise wouldn't, why would it be there? How it works, not too sure about that. But from what I understand, anybody who's predestined is predestined before this world was. Just like it was predestined for Jesus Christ to be killed on a cross before there was anything. Now, that happened. That was predestined. That was spoke of. And, if God can when a butterfly falls to the ground or something, I guess he can do that too. That's the problem. The problem is really accepting how powerful God is. It's just, the trouble is to believe it is one thing, but it's hard to understand. The thing is, the trick is that people don't know if they're predestined. There's no way they can know if they are or not. Jesus said that no one is saved except God saves them. No one gets saved unless God calls them to believe in Jesus Christ. That's the main criteria to get saved. Basically, that's it in a nutshell. If you believe Jesus Christ died to save your sins, and that God sent him to this planet to do that, yeah, that's the criteria. Who would have thought? But the whole idea of believing things is that there's a difference between people who believe something and people who do not. Now, in my lifetime, there's been a big swing that I can see from people who believe in God and in Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ paid the penalty for them and whatever, and the present age. It's hard to believe that people would turn down something like the gospel of Jesus Christ, and can't wait to get the Ten Commandments out of buildings and out of schools, and you know, destroy marriage and destroy men too, and women. And the thing is, people go along with the idea that in the back of their mind they think, well, you know, if they do believe in God, they believe, well, you know, God's world doing this and doing that. When the actual fact is he's not running this world at all. Satan is running this world. Satan is the god of this world. Not forever. He's already been judged. It just a sentence hasn't been taken out yet. But what gets me is that the promise in the Bible about the world to come, you know, it's a fantastic world. It's a world totally different than this one. Obviously, there's no gravity. There's people's bodies are totally different. They live forever. No sickness, death, whatever. There's no night. They have life in them. God gives them permanent life. They don't have to eat to live or anything like that. And they are living in a humongously large creation of a city, and maybe not just in a city, but most likely in a city. I mean, I really should sit down and try and figure this out if a guy could. I mean, how many people, yeah, I mean, if you thought about people, square feet or something, so many square feet per person or something like that, come up with something like that, and try to figure out what that is in a cube 1,500 miles high, square and long. And then I guess there's people who live outside the city too. And then there's those who are not allowed in the city. But what I'm getting at is, how can nations actually lose everything because of their rebellion against their own creator, God? Take a look at, you know, when you look back and say 1800s, 1900s, those were, you know, days when there was a lot going on. There was a lot of industrial revolution, there was a lot of inventions, there was all kinds of new things going on. And then you get into the 19th century and the 20th century. Those last centuries, after thousands of years, culminating in people being able to, well, it said people will travel to and fro a lot, and there would be an increase in knowledge. Well, they claim it's doubling about what, every year now or something? And most people, including me, don't understand or doesn't really have a clue as to how many people are traveling as we speak in this world. I mean, the whole world is crawling with people traveling everywhere. I don't know how many, I should just look that up, how many airplanes are in the sky at one time? or on the average, not including ships and cruise ships, and then you look at highways, 4 lanes on each side, 3 lanes on each side, going full blast. You know, they're building millions of cars a year. They don't get rid of them every year. They last for quite a few years. So there gets to be a lot of them. And they travel to and fro, and on planes and trains and... But the thing is, the human race does not believe that there's any consequence into ignoring God. In other words, there's no fear of God, judgment, anymore for most likely 50–60% of the population at least. And it most likely is going up every month. That's the big thing. There's no fear of judgment that he said will be if you do this, that will happen. And all the laws that he's put in are basically not for him, they are for the human race. Only they don't want it. And then he tells them right off the bat that his laws are holy laws. They're universal laws. He never changes them. And to make the law permanent and make the law real, there has to be a penalty. And the penalty is death. You break the law, you die. You're going to have a permanent death from that. That's a tough penalty. The law is not that hard. I mean, the law is. It's the laws that people don't want to keep because they like to do things different. They like to gossip about other people. They like to lie. Now we've got to a point where everything is practically a lie. Lawyers lie, preachers lie, your brother-in-law lies to you, your kids lie to you, storekeeper lies to you, people who sell things lie to you, exaggerate the value of something and trying to get you to buy it. And the whole world has gotten to be so that it's just absolutely false. And that wasn't like that all the time. You know, in my lifetime, I would say this has gotten to a crescendo in the last 30, 40 years, 30 years, 40 years, 20, yeah, from the 1970s, 80s on. Started about then. Yeah, it's a rebellion, and a rebellion started in the 60s. And I guess when you think of it, you know, God has a timetable for this planet, the earth, and the people. That's how it's going to end. It's going to collapse due to that. God says in a lot of cases he's not going to condemn people. He's going to allow them to condemn themselves by making it so that they have no conscience. No matter what they do, they have no conscience or remorse at all. And when that happens, that means they don't ask for forgiveness, which God says instantly will forgive if you ask. But you have to ask for it. If you don't ask for forgiveness, the penalty stays on the books. You know, the other thing is that, I mean, I have no way of proving this or anything, but God says that his thoughts are way different than our thoughts. And then I believe that. They are totally different. There are a lot of people think, oh, God wouldn't do that. He's a loving God. He wouldn't allow anybody to. He's also a fierce God and a powerful God and a God that does whatever he wants to do. Only the good thing is he's an honest, truthful God. He does not lie. And the object of everything he's doing on this planet right now is to build a family. Obviously, that's what it is. Now, out of the 100 billion that have lived on this planet, imagine it's pretty near that now, he's going to sift out how many are going to live with him forever. And I don't think it's going to be any boo-hooing or anything when these who have rejected him, are destroyed. He says he's not judging them himself. All judgment has been given to Jesus Christ anyway. And he said that he'll allow them to condemn themselves. And they will. They will condemn themselves. Now, how do you know that you're doing the right thing or whatever? I mean, I think about that a lot. I mean, what are you doing? I mean, the thing that amazed me is that it took me till I was, I think, 75 at least, or maybe more. No, I mean, at least 75 or maybe, well, about 75, till I knew what I believed in. It was this, that, whatever. I went to the Lutheran church for most likely a period of 60 years or something. I never really learned anything in there till I got fed up with it, and I just said, psh, I'm not going to follow this. This is not a true, this is not, they don't preach what God talks about. I mean, it was all kinds of things I found out later that they never made known to me, which I should have known about. It was all just a formality thing, and just traditions and formalities and I can't stand that. Anyway, it took me till then, and I was really, that was such a relief to me to finally decide on what I believed in. I mean, the big thing was, what I had to believe in is, well, what happens when you die? I mean, I'd heard in the Lutheran church all the time, oh, he's in a better place now. He's looking down at us now, And I used to think, pshoo, boo, boo. I can't swallow that. I don't, and I didn't know why I didn't believe that, but it just sounded hooey to me. And finally, I realized that it was. And the bottom line is that nobody's going to heaven. Heaven's coming to this planet of all things. Yeah, can you imagine that? Out of the whole universe, God's headquarters, the Bible says, is going to be right here. Yeah, on this little blue planet. And when they talk about birth pangs and suffering and stuff like that, that's what he compares this world to. that it will have to suffer and to have a rebirth as a new world. But I see it all around me. I see it in my own children, and that is the best mirror that a person can have. You can see it in your children, in your generation from you, one generation. It only takes one generation to go just off the base, off track. Yes, and it, to me, it's very sad that if I lived and had marriage and children and whatever, and it's for nothing, I don't know. That's not very good. Did I not do it right? I guess I must have made a mistake. Must have done something. Or either that, or I was yoked unevenly or something, which I think was the case. Anyway, I don't want to keep mumbling on here too much longer, so thank you very much. If you feel like subscribing, it would be great. I would appreciate that. And I hope you have a good night, and God bless you.